What if I told you that half of the world's population, billions of people, are squeezed into just 10 countries? Yeah, you heard that right. 10. Imagine the chaos, the culture clashes, the overcrowded cities. But how did we get here? What secrets are hidden behind this mind-boggling stat? Spoiler, it's way messier than you think. And trust me, you'll never guess who's at the top of the list. Stick around, because by the end, you'll be rethinking everything you know about global population, and maybe even the future of humanity itself. Ready? Let's jump in. Mexico comes in hot at number 10 with 132 million people, and it's not slowing down. Fueled by high birth rates and better healthcare, this country has been booming for decades. Now picture this: Mexico City, one of the largest urban sprawls in the world, filled to the brim with life, culture, and of course, traffic. But this growth isn't without its struggles. Income gaps, infrastructure demands, and environmental hiccups are all part of the package. Still, Mexico's population has created a vibe you can't replicate anywhere else. Bet you didn't expect this one on the list, huh? The largest country on Earth by land size, but barely making the top 10 in population. Russia's 144 million people are packed mostly into the European side of the nation, leaving vast stretches of Siberia practically empty. Here's the twist: Russia isn't growing, it's shrinking. Declining birth rates and an aging population mean the Kremlin is trying everything to boost numbers. What would you do if your nation spanned 11 time zones but was running out of people? Welcome to a country smaller than Florida, but packed with over 173 million people. Yeah, you heard that right. Bangladesh is the ultimate masterclass in cramming people into every square mile. Why? Its insanely fertile lands have been a magnet for human settlement for centuries, especially around the 18th century Ganges-Brahmaputra Delta. But with this density comes a ticking clock. Urban overcrowding, resource battles, and environmental woes are making this one wild balancing act. Now, Brazil isn't just about carnival, soccer, or those ridiculously picturesque beaches. It's also home to over 214 million people. That's 2/3 of the US population chilling in a country that's mostly jungle and coastline. But here's a curveball. Brazil's population growth is actually slowing down. How? Well, blame it on urbanization, better access to education, and the most unexpected culprit, telenovelas. Yeah, those dramatic soap operas showcasing small, glamorous families. They've been subtly convincing Brazilians to have fewer kids. Go figure. But slowing growth doesn't mean fewer challenges. Poverty and inequality are still massive issues here. Wanna live in Rio? Better bring your A game to navigate the economic divides. Coming in hot at number 6 is Nigeria, the beating heart of Africa with a whopping 230 million people. Now, here's the wild part. By 2050, Nigeria is predicted to overtake the US in population. Yeah, you heard me. Nigeria could soon be the 3rd most populous country in the world. But this rapid growth is a double-edged sword. Lagos, its biggest city, is already bursting at the seams, with traffic jams so legendary they might as well be tourist attractions. Plus, the pressure on housing, education, and healthcare is off the charts. It's a classic case of more people, more problems. But Nigeria's youthful energy and entrepreneurial spirit might just turn that around. Fingers crossed. If this is blowing your mind, smash that like button and let me know. Did you guess Nigeria would make the list? Next up at number 5 is Pakistan, clocking in at over 248 million people. Now, Pakistan isn't just about chai, cricket, and stunning mountain views. It's also one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Imagine cramming almost 250 million people into a space roughly twice the size of California. Yeah, that's Pakistan. And here's the kicker. Its population is growing faster than its resources can handle. Water shortages? Check. Energy crises? Double check. But what's truly fascinating is how resilient the people are. From bustling markets to groundbreaking tech startups, Pakistanis are finding ways to adapt, thrive, and innovate despite the odds. At number 4, we have Indonesia, a country that's basically an island-hopping dream, except it's home to over 277 million people. That's right, 277 million spread across a jaw-dropping 17,000 islands. Sounds idyllic, right? Not so fast. Indonesia's population is heavily concentrated on just a few islands like Java and Sumatra, which means overcrowding, pollution, and traffic jams that make New York City look tame. And let's not forget climate change. Rising sea levels are a real threat here, with entire communities at risk of being swallowed by the ocean. Jakarta, the capital, is already sinking so fast they're relocating the government to a new city. Talk about high stakes. Subscribe now if you're loving these jaw-dropping facts, because the top 3 will blow your mind even more. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is the United States, with 331 million people. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't the US huge? How can it even feel crowded? Well, here's the deal. Most of that land is either farmland, mountains, or deserts. The population? It's crammed into urban hubs like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Fun fact, California alone has more people than Canada. And while the US is growing, its birth rate is actually slowing down, meaning future growth will likely depend on immigration. So next time someone says America's the land of wide open spaces, remind them it's more like wide open cornfields and packed city streets. The runner-up at number 2 is India, with an eye-watering 1.4 billion people. Yep, billion with a B. And here's the twist. India is set to overtake China any day now, officially becoming the most populated country on Earth. But it's not just about numbers. It's about diversity. India is a kaleidoscope of languages, religions, and cultures, all packed into a space that's smaller than the US, yet somehow feels even more vibrant. The downside, population density is putting massive strain on infrastructure, healthcare, and education. And if you've ever seen videos of India's trains, you'll know what I mean. Personal space is practically a myth. And finally, taking the crown at number 1 is China, with another 1.4 billion people. But here's the twist. While China's population is massive, it's actually shrinking for the first time in decades. That infamous one-child policy? Yeah, it worked a little too well, and now the country is facing an aging population and a shrinking workforce. Think about it. The world's most populous nation is running out of people to fill its factories and offices. To counter this, the government's gone from limiting kids to practically begging citizens to have more. It's ironic, it's complicated, and it's shaping the future of the global economy. So there you have it, the 10 countries that make up over half of the world's population. The real question is, what's next? Will these nations thrive, or will the pressure of their numbers hold them back? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, hit that like button if you learned something new, and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing content. Because trust me, we're just scratching the surface of how wild this world really is.